is Rachel and I'm the marketing coordinator here for the Champaign Park District. And one of the things that is important for me to be able to do, because I am in charge of maintaining the website and mailing lists and other things, is to make sure that our passwords are super secure, that people can't hack into our system. So I kind of have a way to be able to make passwords that are complicated but easy to remember, so that, and as well as a storage system to be able to keep them in a Word document and no one will know exactly what your password is. Some people like to use like pets' names, so if I were to do it with Torvi, since there are only 5 letters in Torvi, I would have to add like numbers and other characters like that. So that's how you spell our dog's name, Torvi. But we can't just like use that. So how we can make Torvi into something different. So how we would do Torvi, there's so many different ways that you'd be able to do it. So just for instance, lowercase t, a 0, a capital R, I'm just like a caret and a 1. So we still have to add a couple more. So Torvi is a dog, so I do lowercase d, a 0, and a G. So right now my password would be this complicated set right here, and no one would know what it was. And so if I had in my documents, say Facebook, my Facebook password is Torvi. So yes, there will be a little bit of memorization that has to happen, but this complicated set of numbers and letters is so much more difficult for people to hack into. The probability of people figuring out your password would be so much more difficult. And then once you have this memorized in your Word document, you just be able to say Facebook Torvi. And so that's your clue of what your password would be. And so if someone were to look at my document, they would have no idea what my password was. Personally, I really love to use, like I said, sentences or quotes. And recently with security things, we have to update our passwords every 3 months. And I know that we're not the only ones who have to do that. And really, you should be doing it too for your other sites and not just when it's required. But it is very difficult to make up passwords sometimes when it's like, oh, every 3 months I have to make up a new one. If you have a long enough phrase, you can break it up and use it for multiple passwords. So my favorite quote of all time is from The Legend of Korra, and it's from Uncle Iroh says it. If you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see. And I would take this quote and break it up into 2 passwords. So now we have you can often find it. So that's kind of the letters we're working with. Now from here, it's up to you. You just, whatever ones you can think of that it fills in. T, I like to use the asterisk sometimes, not all the time because you're not gonna get my passwords. But it's just, you make it up. I once had a Doctor Who password where it was run you clever boy and remember. And because of that, Doctor Who during that time was the 11th Doctor, so 11 was my number, and an exclamation point looks like a sonic screwdriver. So that, I knew I would use it and be like, Doctor Who was my clue that I would use. So it's all customizable. And you can also even tailor it to work emails, or work passwords are only going to be associated to songs. Home and your relationship passwords or whatever will only be movie lyric or movie quotes or something. You can tailor it to be more specific. and so it's harder to crack your passwords. So I hope that this helped you learn a little bit more about how you can create super secure passwords, but still be able to remember them at the same time. Thanks. Another security tip that you would be able to do, it would be regarding the security questions that come up, so that in case if you are logging into a device that it's not used to and things like that, you'd be able to answer the question for them to know that it's you. But nowadays with Facebook and Google and everything that is just at our fingertips all the time, all those answers are easy to obtain for someone else. They know your mother's maiden name, they know your pet's dog or like your pet's name, they know all of that kind of stuff because you put it out there. A way to be able to stop this would be to have a completely wrong answer, but that is your answer every single time. What's your mother's maiden name? Frankendoodle. What's your pet's name? Frankendoodle. The street that you were born on? Frankendoodle. It's the exact same thing. No one's gonna be able to have it because it's the wrong answer, and you will always be able to remember your answers Frankendoodle.